Hey Handler Helpers, it's time for another Monsterdom Compendium. An epic fiddle is finally here to join us for Cloverspell, so today, let's talk about it. This epic monster has all the markings of a true fae, with its gossamer wings, miraculous white locks, and fiddlehead antenna. Now, I personally like fiddles, well, fiddle. Just look how cool this design is. I'm so excited Epic Fiddle is here for this year's Cloverspell. Be sure to get Epic Fiddle before Cloverspell is over, and let me know what monster you want to discuss on the next Monsterdom Compendium. Hey Handler Helpers, it's time for another Monsterdom Compendium, and today, in celebration of the new game, we're going to be talking about Thumpies. Now, according to their bio, Thumpies are well adapted to interdimensional travel and can be found throughout the multiverse. Did you know that Thumpies were shown before MSM in their own game, Thumpies? Now remade in HD and available to play. Now, my favorite thing about Thumpies is all the different designs and shapes that they come in. I mean, look at this guy. What's going on there? I hope you like Thumpies, and let me know what monster you want to talk about next in Monsterdom Compendium. Hey Handler Helpers, it's time for Monsterdom Compendium. Today we're going to be discussing the strange monster, Nerve. Now, Nerve is a dream mythical dreamt up by the Firehaven mythical Bazinga. Now, Nerve is a monster from my own heart because in their bio it says that they're interested in folklore. Now over on Mythical Island, it uses its interesting optical strings to play melodies. I want you to note the design in Nerve's face, because did you know that it's actually wearing a mask? Let me know what monster you want to see next on Monsterdom Compendium.
Look. Look at the stars in the big black ink. Tell me what you feel and tell me what you think. Is it cold outside? Is it cold out?
Hey there, Handler Helpers. It's time to hear the answers for the last episode's Stumped Minis. If you guessed Shadow, Mech, and Crystal, then you were right. And I just want to thank you all for joining me for Stumped Minis, short series I was doing, and stay tuned for new, interesting series. Hey there, Handler.
Marceline, is it just you and me in the red?
I will burn this planet down.
You can see me in the sky, and yet you don't know how to fly. to be here alone. Take a chance, just take a step and take a leap of faith with me. Can't you feel it? It's in the air.
Hey Handler Helpers, it's time for another Stumped Minis. Now, if you guessed whale as the answer for the previous episode's question, then you were right. But now, it's time for another question! This question comes from YouTube user Cora1778. Which 3 elemental meebs is used to synthesize a night bear? Put your answers in the comments and ask me your Stumped Mini questions. Hey Handler Helpers, it's time for another Stumped Minis. Now, if you guessed Ray as the dipster who gave the page back to Bookworm in the 2023 Mindboggle trailer, then you were right. I saw a lot of you get that one, so it's time for another question. TikTok user Cabber asks, which monster currently in the game was originally going to be the design for the quad on Magical Sanctum? Put your answers in the comments and ask me your Stumped Mini questions.
Again! Again! Again!
Hello Handler Helpers, it's time for another Stumped Minis. Now, if you guessed Psychic and Light Island as your answers for the previous episode, then you were right. But of course, it's time for another question. Now, YouTube user YoYoBong asks, in a real page-turner, the 2023 Mindboggle trailer, when Bookworm drops a page, which dipster pops out of the hole and gives the page back to Bookworm? Put your answers in the comments and ask me your Stumped Mini questions.
I do not know that answer right now, but I will do everything in my power to get that information for you. Please hold.
Hey there, Handler Helpers, it's time for another Stumped Minis. Now, if you guessed Rare Banjaw as your answer for the previous episode, then you were right. But now, it's time for another question. TikTok user Rainbow Z Cakes asks, in the Perplexplore trailer, what were the other 2 islands that Spirit visited on its journey before going to Oasis? Put your answer in the comments and ask me your Stumped Mini questions. Hey there, Handler Helpers, it's time for another Stumped Minis. Now, if you guessed Epic Noggin, Epic Kana, and Epic Cybop for the previous episode's answer, then you were right, and good job! But now, it's time for another question. Now, TikTok user Box of Bays asks, which monster has a nickname Attack on Titan Necrol? Put your answers in the comments and ask your Stumped Mini questions. Hey Monster Handlers, it's time for another Stumped Minis. Now, if you guessed Gargantuan Glubber as your answer for the previous video, then you were right. But now, it's time for another question. This question comes from TikTok user Pixelotl. They ask, which 3 monsters met Bazinga in As Good as Gold? Put your answers in the comments and ask me your Stumped Mini questions.